Welcome to Rage Bait Football Podcast, RBFP, and it's the bye week. And this is special edition episode number 2. And let me tell you, this is a special one, very close to my heart, because kickers are people too. And thank you so much. We have the Oklahoma Rage's kicker, Lacey Womer. Lacey, thank you for joining us and standing up for all kickers who need justice, which is really just to get respect from the rest of the locker room. We put points up and we make onside kicks happen, sky kicks. Also, we might do it without a gallbladder, I hear. So my mom had her gallbladder removed, and that was very difficult. She was just putting up with us 4 kids. I can't imagine going back out and trying to kick. Webb told me you had to be restrained to keep yourself from going back out a week after your surgery. That earns you Kicker of the Week award. So, Lacey, thank you so much for joining us on Rage Bait. How are you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So, how did you get started playing women's tackle football?
By accident. I was looking for something to do when we first moved to Oklahoma. My husband was gone, and so it was just me and the dog, and I was just working, and I was actually looking for soccer. And so one night, the internet is a weird place, and
100%.
I happened across like something about the football team, and I was like, well, that's pretty wild, dude. I was like, I don't know if I'm about that. I was like, but I could probably kick a football. Like,
Yeah.
we'll see. And so I shot him a message, and I don't know who it was at the time running the Facebook, but they were like, yeah, come on out and try out. And I was like, okay. So I did that, and then just kind of sucked me in.
How many years have you been playing women's tackle football?
So technically, this is my 4th season. I did my 2nd season. I took off because I was pregnant.
What sports did you play growing up?
When I was really young, I played softball, soccer, and basketball. And then as things became more competitive, I kind of just stuck with soccer. And I played at City College for a year, and then decided college wasn't really my deal.
So you said City College, so in LA on the West Coast?
It was on the West Coast in Fresno City College.
Siri was listening to our call and just gave me directions to LA Community College. So thank you so much. This is the second time I've been interrupted by AI in my life. It was Alexa last episode, and now it's Siri this episode. How did you get to Oklahoma from the West Coast?
So it's been a series of events. I actually moved here from Tennessee. My husband's job brought us here. He's a U.S. Marshal. And so when he got relocated here, this is where we came.
Does he think that the Marshall spinoff from Yellowstone is realistic?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to establish that for Rage Nation out there.
Not to say that it's bad. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's only seen the first episode, but he was like, it's decent TV, but it's very unrealistic.
Yeah, and I have to give credit, I hate on Vin Diesel a lot for the Fast franchise, which, I watch. It's whatever, it's fine. But he's always like, oh, we're family. But if you think about Yellowstone, he's always like, the ranch, save the ranch. Like, it's like the same thing. I just started the Dutton Ranch spinoff.
Yeah.
Like, and I like Rip and Beth, the 2 characters there from the original Yellowstone, but it's so similar, like everything, life is just a myriad of patterns sometimes. Is he an air marshal?
No,
Okay.
they're separate. Yeah, they're different things.
Okay. So again, this is a word of advice to our friends. Do not try to point out somebody on a flight that you think to be an air marshal. It might be an air marshal who's protecting us from terrorists and drunk bachelorette parties up in the sky. So, and if you were on Spirit Airlines, pretty much everybody on your flight, because boy, that was wild. R.I.P. Gone too soon. The big yellow banana in the sky will always have a soft spot right in my heart. So, like I have a soft spot for kickers, how did you transition from kicking a soccer ball to kicking a football? I'm always intrigued by every kicker I meet. How was that transition in your approach?
It was not as easy as I expected it to be, especially my first year. I was trying it, and trying to figure out what worked and what didn't. And I asked one of the coaches like to help me, and and his advice was to run faster and kick harder. I dove pretty deep into YouTube and I watched a lot of videos and I read some books and it's like different techniques and things, and I got a kicking net and just started putting my foot to the ball and trying to figure out what worked for me.
It definitely is a transition, and I think you'll appreciate it. And I don't know about it for you, but the hardest thing for me was getting kickoff down. For special teams wise for the Rage, I mean, we do some sky kicks, right? We get some recoveries. How do you handle kickoff? What is it like having to organize that unit and they're waiting on you to signal you're ready? Like it's totally different than soccer where everything's just a constant, action unless there's a stop for a foul or a throw in or, free kick.
Yeah. Man, I love it, honestly. Like, I go out there and I set up the ball on my little block and I turn around and everybody's just like so excited to be there. And I'm so excited. And we have just like a really special group of women that I play with. And so when I tell them, I'm like, go get me this ball back. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, all right. And, I get pretty pumped up when we grab an onsides back or even like a little pooch kick that we do. And
Mhm.
it's a good time.
What has been your favorite football experience, from your time playing women's tackle football?
Man, probably not even game related. It's probably just been the relationships that I've built on the team. I think, like I said, we have a really special group, all the way from our coaching staff and our support staff, all the way to the team and everybody that comes around. Thinking when I talk about the culture of the team, one of the things that I always go back to is that, and this isn't like a super widely known fact, but Brandon Webb actually walked my mom down the aisle at my wedding. And, stuff like that, last year I did not have a great kicking year. It was a comeback year for me, and it wasn't the best, but Webb and Shrep still showed up in their shirts that said, "I cheer for the kicker." And it's, stuff like that, man. It's just we have a good time, and it's a good group of people, so I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I love to hear that because we talk about that a lot. Football is family and it's so much different than any other sport. Last special episode with QB1, Court Eldridge of, soccer sometimes is like a me driven environment. And then football is just, you're just locked in. Even if it can be a person that you necessarily maybe just don't talk to, right? They're just outside of kind of what you do for the team, but you're still locked in. They're still part of the family for sure. What are your hopes as we near the end of the regular season? You got your eyes set on making that trip down to San Antonio to for the national championship for the Emerald Bowl?
Yeah, I already made my hotel reservations.
I love the confidence. I love that confidence. It's definitely going to be clipped by our haters out there, but hey, we'll see you on the march to the Emerald Bowl trophy. Let me ask you this: where do you think the future of women's tackle football is going to go 5, 10 years from now?
I mean, I think that we're gonna continue to see a growth. I think it's gonna be slow. I think that, just like anything that we're gonna have setbacks. It's unfortunate. It's just part of any equation when there's humans involved. Some of them inherently suck, and that's unfortunate for the game. But at the end of the day, I think that the overall effort has been phenomenal so far, and even just watching it spread in terms of like flag football in this area. And I've had friends in the area that their girls are getting involved in flag football, and they tell me about it, and they're super excited, and they want to bring their kids out to see the games. And even just in our team, like, several of us have kids, and we call them the rage babies, but, like, those kids are always gonna grow up, and they're gonna always know that women can do anything, including play football, that a lot of us were told as we grew up that we weren't allowed to do. And I think that we're changing that standard for the next generation. So I think it's gonna be slow growth, but I think that it is growth.
100%. How do you balance everything else that you have going on in your life and your different roles and responsibilities and still play tackle football?
Uh, I have a super great support network. My husband is my biggest fan, and he's super supportive. He picks up where I'm short at during the week with practice, and he helps take care of our daughter. we just come together, like, even as a team when people need something. When I had my surgery, my husband had to come home and get our daughter, but he didn't want me to get in the recovery room and be there by myself, so he called our athletic trainer, Lori, Toya, and T showed up, and they got to be there when I came out. No, I had familiar faces, and I knew that I was in a safe place, and there's people that are gonna be there, so.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about when they're coming out of the recovery room. I had like an impacted wisdom tooth taken out in January there in Tulsa. And I woke up and there's this real friendly elderly lady, and she was a sweetheart. I saw my wife out of like, glimpse, and she tried to explain directions to her. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. And then I was waiting outside in a wheelchair for my wife for like 15 minutes. And mind you, this is like in Broken Arrow and there's only one place to pick me up at this surgery center. I was like, "Oh, honey, it's gonna be a minute. What's your name? Tell me about yourself." So, yeah, I needed some familiar faces. I woke up by myself before. I had really bad kidney stones, like, in college. I got them real bad. It's probably all those AMP energy drinks with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the number 88, Chevrolet back in the day. I drink a lot of those, and a lot of other things, that probably led to me having, yeah, stents put in. You can Google that on your own. It's terrible. You don't want that done. What do you think when you think about your daughter? And I have 2 daughters. What do you later on, let's say 10, 15 years from now when she's grown up and she starts asking questions about, "Mom, what were you like when you were younger?" What are you gonna tell her about you being a football player?
I want her to know that the only limit that she's ever gonna face is what she puts in front of herself. She can do anything that she sets her mind to, and just because something's hard doesn't mean that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. So, and I hope that's one of the things that she learns from watching us.
I think to your point, when you were talking about flag football and all the young ladies that are playing across the country as well as there in Tulsa and Northeast Oklahoma, is that if they would get out to a rage game and they would see, this is what we can morph into, right? That this, the football is not just defined by one gender playing it, right? There's so much more to football. Uh, I think it would really accelerate the game. We talked about this before. Some of the programs that are in the AWFL have youth programs, right? We just got to continue to build up and get the kids and the parents used to tackle football, especially if they didn't have, siblings or themselves play, and they know what to expect when it comes to playing a combat sport. Now, let's send it over to your coaches. Webb, Shreb, you got some questions for our star kicker.
Uh, let's see. Lacey, you've fulfilled some other roles on the field. Explain what those roles were and your experience with it.
So my first year before I tore my ACL, was a starting cornerback and a backup wide receiver, and I have fun doing those things. And yeah, I feel like our receivers coach and our defense coach, they know like they can throw me in whenever, and try to do whatever I'm supposed to do. I always have a good time no matter what I'm doing. So I've also been the water girl and the cheerleader, and I like to have a good time.
Good utility tool. Also, sometimes our trainer, and time to time,
medical personnel.
medical person.
That's true. Sometimes I have had to put my paramedic hat on and go out there and help out, which I'm thankful that I have that ability to be able to do that and to provide that service when we need it. I wish sometimes we didn't need it, but it's the way of the game, and sometimes it's just how it is
What's your biggest football memory over the last 4 years on field?
on field. I think one of them, I don't know if I could choose just one, but I think the one that always cracks me up is I was playing wide receiver and I messed up the route a little bit, and ball, ball got intercepted, and I just took it away from her because I didn't want to get yelled at.
I knew that was going to be it. I don't know why. I just knew that was going to be the one.
Messed up and I had to fix it.
She's quarterback friendly, is what we call her. Always in the right spot, no matter who's throwing the ball, like what type of ball it is. She's just kind of always perfect in the spot. Same with playing DB. She's just kind of there, always in if a ball's tipped, she's there for it. Like if it's underthrown, she's there for it. Like it's just weird. She's got an odd feel for everything going on.
Hey, it's that soccer IQ. You got to know where you're at on the pitch at all times. So let's give a shout out to the soccer background.
Is that
That's it? That's it. Be in the right spot at the right time, right? You don't got to get ready if you're always ready. Coach Speak 101. Let's go.
So in your 4 years here, like we've traveled some pretty cool places. Where's been your favorite this far?
Man, I think my first away trip was my first real game, and it was when we went down to Louisiana. So that will always have a special place for me. Seattle trip was pretty cool. I love 10 Things I Hate About You, and that stadium was freaking awesome. But then last year wasn't the result that we wanted, but going to the Natty was like a super unique, very cool experience, but really special because I was able to bring my family with me, and we planned for that. And, it's not something that a lot of people get to say that they've been able to step on that field and they've been able to play there. And I had my biggest and my littlest fan with me, and so that was definitely pretty cool.
I had her with me also.
That's true, yeah. There's actually some pretty cool pictures of you guys.
What are some things that you enjoy doing outside of football, hobby-wise?
I like to hang out with my family. Usually during the off season, we try to work out together. And today we did Murph for Memorial Day. But other than that, I mean, we stay busy between his work and I'm in school full time, and Remy just being the busiest toddler on the face of the planet. We're just making it,
Yeah, I feel you on the toddler side because we went shopping at the Tulsa outlets there in Jinx yesterday evening, and my youngest just turned 2, and she did the rounders game where she just gets in the clothing rounders and hides, and then just pops out on people and says, "Found you." And I'm just like, "Hey, whoa, let's not talk to strangers. Let's start. That's not what we're gonna do." I appreciate the energy, but I got 0 things accomplished on my shopping list yesterday. I needed some new dress shoes, and that did not happen. So I try to shop local, but when you got kids, you just got to press the add to cart and hit purchase to your house. Well, Lacey, we have to ask you one final question. What is making you rage out right now?
Ooh, the mosquitoes are starting to come out. And that is, bro, like, don't do that. I don't understand the amount of mosquitoes that Oklahoma has. Like, people don't want to live in Oklahoma. I don't know why mosquitoes want to be here, but they're all here. And it's just, bro, not a fan.
I sympathize with you, not for myself, but because Maya doesn't have a clue about it, and they love Maya. Mosquitoes will absolutely destroy. I think it's the light chocolate, that's the part of it.
So, with that being said, I think it's invaluable to enjoy every moment without taking it so serious that you lose sight of the goalpost. Hey, throw it in there, Kickers United for life. So I will start a GoFundMe so we can make sure we get the recognition that we deserve to all kickers across the country. Well, Lacey, I love your confidence and your story. I mean, even before we met on this call, and I look forward to meeting you at our regular season finale there in Inola on June 6th against the Dallas Lady Prime as we look to punch our first round bye ticket in the Southwest Conference as part of being the number 1 seed on that side of the bracket in the AWFL. Super excited about that. I look forward to meeting you and going from there. And you know what? That confidence, guys, go ahead and book your tickets to San Antonio. Let's go. Emerald Bowl 3. We're going to be there. So thanks for joining us tonight for Shrep and Webb, who we have lost just temporarily.
He'll be back.
He'll be back. Webb will be back. But thank you, Lacey, and thank you for being a part of our Rage family.
Thank you. Appreciate your guys' time. Thanks for having me.